Right, now we come to the Sermon on the Mount, a very famous piece, set piece if you like, of the Gospels, and one which is absolutely critical to the Christian faith. So let's have a look at this particular sermon. What we're going to do is we're going to break it down bite size by bite size, which is why we're called this, because basically there's so much to digest in it, and I'm going to sort of touch upon each individual thing, rather like taking an individual piece of cheese at a cheese and wine tasting event, where you get a sample of it and you feel the sort of cheese take hold, and this metaphor starts to get out of hand. So the Sermon on the Mount. In this sermon, Jesus gets straight to the heart of the human condition, and he addresses key points one by one. And the first thing we start to notice as he unravels his teaching is, this is an upside down way of looking at the world. This is not the way the world thinks at all. He takes the way the world thinks and turns it completely on its head, to such an extent that it becomes impossible. I mean impossible to do what he's talking about. And you're thinking, why is he saying this? Now, there are two aspects to this. One is the fact that in Jewish teaching, in Hebrew teaching at the time, possibly still now, there is a tendency to exaggerate what you say to make an emphatic point. So some of the images he uses are really out there and quite concerning, you might think. But secondly, he's doing it deliberately because he's teasing people to say, you can't do any of this without the power of the Holy Spirit inside you. It's an epic sermon, so what I'm going to do is break it down bit by bit. So we're kicking off with what people call the Beatitudes, okay? And this is written in poetic form. Jesus and the writer Matthew would have been familiar with this particular style of Hebrew poetry called a chiasm, in which the first and last elements parallel one another with a central point in between. So it's kind of like a mirrored pattern. It's a very pictorial and very amazing poetic format, and a lot of the Bible is written in this way. And we'll look at that another time. So this is a very exciting introduction to what I hope will be a very challenging and thought-provoking journey into the Beatitudes and the whole Sermon on the Mount.